On the night of June 26, 2026, the ground in Sicily tore open. A fracture split the base of the northeast crater of Europe's most active volcano. Lava began to flow, silent, slow, but relentless. Within hours, the glowing front was pushing through the Valle del Bove, consuming everything in its path. Ancient rock, centuries of hardened lava, all of it swallowed again by the mountain that made it. But the eruption you see on the surface is only half the story. For decades, the entire flank of this volcano has been sliding toward the sea, centimeter by centimeter, year after year, not because of any single eruption, not because of any single earthquake, just gravity, just time. And if it collapses all at once, the entire Mediterranean will feel it. In this video, you'll understand what's happening to Etna right now, and why Europe's greatest volcano may be the threat no one is watching. But before we understand the danger, we need to understand the giant. And what you're about to discover about Etna in the next 90 seconds will change how you see this island forever. Mount Etna has existed for 500,000 years. It sits in northeastern Sicily, an Italian island bathed by the Ionian Sea and the Mediterranean. At nearly 3,250 meters tall, it is the largest active volcano in Europe. Think of it this way. It's a volcano as tall as the Alps' lower peaks, and it has been vomiting magma for 500,000 years. For Sicilians, it isn't a threat, it's a neighbor. Cities like Catania sit just 30 kilometers from the summit. Vineyards grow on its slopes. People build their homes on its lava fields generation after generation because the same volcanic soil that threatens life also produces some of the most fertile farmland in Europe. The Sicilians don't fear Etna. They live with it. In 2026, Etna has been in near continuous activity for 6 months. In January, a fracture opened on the eastern flank at 2,100 meters. In April, scientists discovered that the volcano was pulling magma from 80 kilometers deep, a depth never recorded before, a rare fourth category of eruption. And in June, a new fracture. More lava, more heat, more pressure. But volcanologists aren't losing sleep over the lava. They're losing sleep over something else. In 2 minutes, you'll understand why Etna's biggest threat isn't what you see. It's what you can't. Etna's southeastern flank is moving, not during earthquakes, not during eruptions, all the time. The speed? A few centimeters per year? That sounds small, but think of it this way. If you had placed a camera here 100 years ago, the flank would have shifted by several meters. An entire neighborhood would have changed position. The problem isn't the speed. The problem is the destination. The flank is moving toward the sea, and if it slows too fast or accelerates too fast, the result could be a collapse. Wait, can an entire volcano collapse? It can, and it has. In 1792, Mount Etna in Japan suffered a partial flank collapse. The tsunami it generated, 15,000 people lost their lives. Not from lava, not from ash, but from the ocean itself turning against the coast. And that was a partial collapse. In Hawaii, geological records buried beneath the seafloor tell an even darker story. Ancient flank collapses that generated waves 300 meters high. 300 meters. The height of a 100-story building. Waves that crossed entire ocean basins before losing their force. Now bring that number to the Mediterranean. To the beaches where you may have spent your vacation. Now bring that scenario to Sicily. To the coastlines of Italy, Greece, Tunisia, Lebanon, Egypt. To the beaches, where 200 million tourists spend their summers. That's why scientists don't sleep. But what they found next demolished decades of scientific theory about what actually moves this volcano. For decades, the theory was clear. What moved Etna's flank was magma, the internal pressure of the volcano pushing the rocks outward like toothpaste squeezed from a tube. It seemed logical. After all, Etna is an active volcano. Magma is always moving. It makes sense that it would be the engine driving the slide. But there was a problem with that theory. When researchers from the Open University and INGV installed high-precision GPS sensors around Etna and tracked every millimeter of movement for years, they found something that shouldn't be there. The flank was moving even when the magma was at rest, even when there was no eruption, even when internal pressure was low. The flank kept sliding toward the sea on its own. The researchers' conclusion changed everything. It isn't magma pushing the flank. It's gravity. Specifically gravity pulling on Etna's submerged slopes, the part of the volcano hidden beneath the sea, invisible to us. And beneath those rocks, there is a fluid, a natural lubricant that reduces friction and allows the entire flank to slide like ice on a warm surface. In other words, Etna is literally sliding on a layer of natural lubricant. And we only discovered this now. But the science didn't stop there. In the next 2 minutes, you'll understand the real mechanism and why it's more alarming than magma. The sliding mechanism involves 2 key elements. The first is ductile rock. Rock that, under extreme pressure and temperature, behaves less like stone and more like modeling clay. Think of it this way. If you twist a cold iron bar, it snaps, but if you heat it first, it bends without breaking. The rocks beneath Etna's flank are heated by volcanic activity, and so they bend slowly rather than resist. The second element is supercritical fluids, water and gases that, under extreme pressure inside the Earth, reach a state that is neither solid, nor liquid, nor gas. They exist in a physical zone beyond what our everyday experience can describe. And in that zone, they become extraordinarily mobile, capable of penetrating the tiniest fractures in rock and coating them from within, reducing friction across a massive surface area. Like motor oil in an engine's gears, but at a geological scale. The entire base of the flank, lubricated from below by invisible fluids, moving toward the sea without any single dramatic trigger. In other words, Etna is riding on a layer of underground lubricant, and we only confirmed this recently. That's why, in January 2026, the Flanked project was submitted, an international initiative that proposes drilling directly into Etna's flank to collect samples from this lubricant and the deformed rocks. Something never done before. Why drill? Because mathematical models, even the most advanced ones published in 2026 in the Journal of Geophysical Research, still can't accurately predict when the sliding might accelerate. To predict the future, scientists need the real samples of the present, and what do the models say, even with uncertainty? That the flank could continue sliding in equilibrium for centuries, or it could suddenly accelerate, especially during major earthquakes or very intense eruptions. If a catastrophic collapse of Etna's flank occurred, Guillomar's tsunami simulations indicate waves would reach the Italian coastlines in under 10 minutes, Greece in 20, North Africa in 30, 10 minutes. That's less time than it takes to receive a cell phone alert, evacuate a beach, and reach higher ground. But here is what researchers also say, and this is important to remember. The immediate risk is low. The current sliding is in equilibrium. No model indicates imminent collapse. What's at stake isn't next week. It's the planning for the next decades. What changes with what we know now? The monitoring paradigm. If the sliding isn't controlled by magma, traditional seismic alerts are not enough. A volcano can sit perfectly quiet, no eruption, no major earthquake, and still accelerate toward the sea. We need to monitor the fluids beneath the flank, the microscopic deformations in the rock, sensors on the ocean floor watching for any sign that the underwater slope is shifting faster than it should. It's a completely different kind of surveillance, one that most monitoring systems in the Mediterranean are not yet equipped to perform. And Etna, meanwhile, continues. The lava of June 2026 still flows through the Valle del Bove. The flank still moves toward the sea. The seismometers still record every breath of the volcano, not because Etna is malevolent, but because it simply exists. And on this planet, volcanoes don't ask for permission. Science doesn't tell us that Etna will collapse. It tells us that it could, and that if it does, no current warning system would be fast enough. So here's the question that remains. If we know this risk exists, and we know the warning time is insufficient, what are we actually waiting for to prepare the Mediterranean? Leave that answer in the comments. And if you want to understand what happens when two entire continents collide, and why the Mediterranean will close completely in 50 million years, that video explains everything. I'm Geology Info. Until the next event,